Alright, here's some feedback on your stationery project. Starting with Dylan's project, the carve. I like where this is going, Dylan. I think your logo still needs some refining. It's pretty rough, and especially when it's in this format, that bottom part still, there's a tangent right there, and when it's large, it's not very smooth. But nice job making it consistent. These two lines seem out of place, maybe just decorative, and they call a lot of attention to themselves. This text is really heavy, so if you could find a light or regular version of this font. See, the problem when you make everything bold, then nothing is bold, nothing stands out. Also, a little bit of grouping, so some space, for example, between your name and phone number, between the phone number and the email, between the email and then these two lines that have the physical address, keep them close together. I think I would leave the Instagram off of the letterhead but put it on the business card. So here's the business card. This text would pop a lot more if it was white. The logo looks nice here. It's nice when it comes off the edges, and it's just these corners that are a problem, and that little tangent. Also, the card helps me make sense of these two lines, but still I would do something a little different maybe here with these lines. For example, what if one of them, maybe the blue one or maybe the orange one, was wider or taller, and then this text was white and inside of that line. So make at least part of this match up a little better here. See how the yellow and the blue are right together, and here they're not. These need to feel more like they belong together. Here's Morgan's. First thing I notice on this side of the card is that you've got a corner being filled, a corner being filled, and a corner being filled. So the best white space is trapped here in the center. So move things in and align them. In fact, you might put your social media icons on the other side of the card. At least try that, see what you think. It's hard for me to tell at this size, but I'm guessing that your text could be smaller. But again, I can't tell when the card's a little bit smaller than it should be. So check the font size, and if you can read it smaller, then make it smaller. Some contrast here would be nice, like your name. Let it stand out because it's the most important piece of information. Here is your letterhead. Nice repetition, nice black and white, really works. Nice strong line here. This feels like it's floating kind of on its own. Is there a way you can bring it into alignment somehow? I wonder if you need it to say King Queen Productions here and here. And this might be a chance for a watermark, but I don't know. Not sure what to tell you here. Your page is an odd size. Make sure this is an 8.5 by 11. Really like this, except for all this is center aligned. Plus you don't have any name. You need your name on this card, and the text can be a lot smaller. Definitely don't center align it. You have a strong center aligned logo. So one thing that you could do with that is use that same center alignment. So if that center line was drawn on this card, then use that either to right align all of this text or to left align it. Stationery, the letterhead looks really nice, except for the center aligned text. Don't center align it. And you might consider, would this be right or left just aligned? I'm not sure which you would do. It seems like left aligning it would help unite it. then you'd also have, it still would be opposite instead of unified. So not sure there. One thing you might try is, instead of putting the text in here, maybe you could leave the website here, and then you could use this line and make the text green, aligned with the center of the logo. If that makes sense. Okay, this feels really crowded. Notice that this is jammed right up against the edge there. These black bars are right up against the edge. This is right up against the edge. This is a nice strong line. I really like that. And there is some contrast in here and some white space. That's great. The letterhead looks good. There's a lot more space. You'll want to trim though. So be mindful that you'll be trimming a little bit off these edges, and bring this arrow all the way off, and then trim right there. You might want to bring this P in a little bit. A little bit of contrast in here would be nice, and some separation and grouping. Okay, this is Darren's business card. Not sure about your colors, Darren. I don't think they're working yet. So maybe go back to the drawing board on your color scheme. Good job having some contrast, a little bit of grouping. You might want to do some grouping here. And I notice that you've left aligned to the circle, which probably works. The middle of this logo is a stronger place. You might use that as your alignment spot. Or maybe you don't need the logo on both sides of the card. Maybe a color, for example, could your name be this blue color? That would add some more contrast and repeat with your color scheme. Looks like you've got broken links on your letterhead, and this right alignment is odd. Also, notice the huge contrast here compared to here. These don't look like they were designed together. Make them more similar. I like the watermark big and coming off the edge. That works well. Dwight, your logo we've talked about has come a long way. It looks really good. Really like it. This is a nice strong alignment. It's not really aligned very well to the logo, but maybe that's tricky. Probably the strong part in your logo is here in the middle, and that wouldn't really give you enough room. So probably all right. You don't. Oh, I wonder about some contrast. What if your name, for example, was a color? Let's see, you've got an email, physical address, and a phone. Give us some separation and grouping there. And yeah, card looks really good. Letterhead, I don't think you need these little birds 1, 2, 3 times. If you want to do a watermark, you should probably break this logo up and use just part of it for the watermark. The hearts, for example, would be good. Or maybe one of these birds. Or maybe they could be, no. I was thinking they could be huge and coming in off the sides, but be sure that this is light enough that you could type in that area. I wouldn't right align this, because what you've got is corner and corner and center, and so none of these 1, 2, 3, 4 elements is united. Another idea for watermark might be a big D. Just a thought. So anyway, with alignment, I would bring this text right over here underneath. I'd also move this away from the edge. So give me more white space, more margin. And then give these birds something to stand on. Or don't use them since they're here. Yeah. Here's Jared's. Your logo is looking better. I'm not sure what's happening with this text, is if it's outlined or something, but it's kind of hard to read. Also, your logo has some tangents in it there on the rings and where the rings of Saturn hit the letters. So watch that. You've got a nice strong alignment here. Okay, sorry, my phone rang. I had to answer it. So I can't remember exactly what I said about this. I think I was saying something about this alignment right here. It's nice and strong. It would be nice if there was some contrast with your name. And you have an address, but there's no state. So that address isn't going to work. You need to do some more information there. On your letterhead, nice repetition, so it looks a lot like the business card. A little bit of contrast would be nice. Watermark's nice. Something full bleed would be nice, so if this came all the way off and then you trimmed. Okay, that would be good. Looks like you've got broken links. That's why this is all pixelated. At least that's what I'm guessing. Your card feels really crowded. So you got corner, corner, corner. This corner isn't quite filled up, but basically everything's crowded and the white space is trapped in between. Then you center aligned your name and title. So don't center align. I'm glad that you've got some contrast. Your name is a little bit bigger. Make your title smaller. Give us a strong alignment. I'm guessing because you've got this strong line right here that it would work well if you, somewhere in this area, if you just right aligned all your text there. That might work. Your logo is kind of a center aligned logo. It might be easier to work with if this word was a little bit bigger and it could and it was aligned to the two sides. Not positive on that. Maybe center aligning is fine. It is a little bit crowded here on edges, right there, right there. It's crowded in this little box. So same thing on the back. I would just put it all in a solid instead of doing the white, green, and black. Yeah, just make it solid. And then you could put your color in your logo. So like this word could be green, or these two big letters could be green and everything else could be black. And that would give you your colored scheme. Okay, here is your stationery letterhead, Again, it looks like you've got a broken link, so make sure you fix that link. This is crowded up in that corner. This is crowded up in that corner. That traps the white space where you don't necessarily want it. These two lines don't look like they're repeating anything here. So these two pieces look like they were designed separately. You need more repetition. At least some of this color somewhere would help. Okay, this is Rosie's. Like your logo, you need a name on your business card. This is a nice little circular alignment, I guess. Goes along with your logo. It's working pretty well. Your colors are all pretty muted. Give me some contrast, give me some grouping and separation and spacing. Your letterhead doesn't look like it was designed with anything else. So with your business cards, the color schemes don't go together. The typography does, and the logo is the same, but in a way it's different because here it's on dark and here it's on white. Here, this is generally center aligned. Everything's center aligned. If you can get away from center aligning, that would be great. This is Julia's, and I've talked to Julia about this already, so I'm going to skip this one. This is Kaylin's. Kaylin feels a little crowded. There's a lot going on here. I like this side a lot. It's nice and simple. Can you can you take some of this extra stuff out here? Give me a little more contrast, a little more white, a lot more white space. I like that you've got some grouping. These icons work. And you've got enough space on that edge, so that's okay. Here's your letterhead. This blue color has, I don't think I saw it on the card, so don't introduce it here. Generally these need to look more like they were designed together. They look very, very different. The watermarks, okay. It's not trapped. It could be a little bit lighter. This red line throws me off because there's no red lines here. Everything's right aligned, which I guess is going to work. It would be nice if this bled off the edge and then was trimmed, although that's a nice strong alignment, so maybe you can, you decide if you want to keep that or not. But again, I think repetition is my biggest concern here. Okay, this is Ben's project, and it looks like it's, I don't think I've seen it before, Terra Grow. There's a nice strong alignment here. This text is hard to read. It's dark text on a dark background. Not sure what that green spot is for or why this shape. The front and the back don't seem to go together. The only thing that really matches is the logo, but the colors and the styles are so very different. And then when we go to the letterhead, same thing. The style is so different. They don't look like they belong together. And then you've got things in the 1, 2, 3, 4 corners. And when this element from your logo is really large, you see how bumpy it is. It doesn't look quite finished. Also, spacing on your logo. See how big this space is between the T and the E compared to the space between the E and the R. You need to do some kerning work to make the spacings more similar. And I think that's it for this video.